folks. So we're all live here. Well, hope everybody's having a good Saturday. A good hot Saturday, as a matter of fact. I'm Richard Moore, and I've got a story for you that was brought to my attention. Hope you hear. I feel like that either I'm too loud or not loud enough. I feel like I'm not loud enough, apparently, on some of these stories that I'm bringing you. And you can rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, there's a whole lot of people out there that's got a whole lot of things to say. But you can bet one thing. The only thing you're going to get here is the straight, unadulterated truth. No holds barred. I'm not running for office. I'm not trying to win Mr. Congeniality. But what I do, and I do this on a daily basis, is I expose corruption and criminals, especially when all those things are neatly and nicely folded into the same network of individuals, of individual deplorables. I want to talk about a missing person. This person has a name. His name is Jonathan Paul Estes. And last count, he's been missing for 1,519 days. Since June the 2nd, 2018. And Boga Shito, can't make this up, folks. That means large stream. Chitto. It would seem that by now y'all would have figured out a name change for that, because it complicates the rest of the free world, even those that are not free. So Boga Shito is situated down in the south central part of the state of Mississippi, in the Neshoba and Kemper County area. And so a 35-year-old Jonathan Paul Estes, and he's got how many children that are involved in this marriage to Cindy Estes. And there's problems with this, folks. So Jonathan comes up missing. This is after what is the inevitable divorce that is in the process of happening. And so we've got a man that's worked hard to provide for his family, and but he has a promiscuous, I don't really think there's any nice way of putting it, and then the chances of his children and so forth seeing this, I want to try to be as tactful as possible and just say that it's not an easy situation to have a stark raving adulterous bitch for a wife, and that's what we've got. A vindictive, will stop at nothing adulteress, dope fiend with multiple sex partners at the same time. So I don't want you to get this Betty Crocker opinion about Cindy Estes. I want to put her in a proper light. That being said, why don't we have any information about the whereabouts of Jonathan Estes? Well, we can only assume that the only logical explanation there is that Jonathan is dead. He was murdered. Now, why in the world would someone murder Jonathan Estes? Is it maybe that some of these friends of hers, and she vehemently claims that she didn't sleep with them, and honey, I don't doubt that one bit. There wasn't any sleeping going on. But there was a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Of course she wasn't sleeping. It's hard to sleep and trick at the same time. So it seems to me that that Jonathan knew too much. Now, he was made aware of these facts by his son showing him the facts about the tricking and the dope and the flopping and all that going on. And of course, she's got the audacity to blame him for having some kind of affair with another woman. Well, hell, if that isn't the pot calling a kettle black. Was it 10 or 15 women at one time? I don't think so. So regardless of what and how they try to put, and this is standard business, folks, especially in the dirty South, is let's put the victim in the worst possible light that we can. So I see some serious problems. Of course, I know that a couple of other media outlets have covered this case, and one of them taken down, and this fat boy with green hair on TikTok got the constitution of a pissant. Obviously didn't have the, of course he didn't, or any nads at that, to keep that media up. So what's it about? A popularity contest? Or is this about possible, what is it about? I'm telling you what this is about. We got a man that is missing. He's been murdered down there in either in Neshoba or Kemper County, and now they're trying to. Cindy is trying to make it official, where somebody else can adopt his children. I mean, where in the hell do they do that at? Now, Satan has got a few attorneys in the state of Mississippi that handle this diabolical trash that has to be mitigated. And the chief trash carrier for corrupt law enforcement is William R. Allen, with Allen, and Breland in Brookhaven. I know exactly who he is. He knows exactly who I am. And it just blew me out of the saddle to see William R. Allen's name all over this adoption deal. And so when William Allen is in the picture, ladies and gentlemen, then we go to the next step. That means there is a corrupt, lying, criminal elements of law enforcement smack dab in the middle of it. They have something to hide. They want this to go away and the trail to get cold, and the last thing they ever wanted is for Richard Moore to get wind of it. Well, I wasn't sniffing around for anything. But sometimes it takes somebody that is unashamed of being a red-blooded American with a backbone that will say what needs to be said and will continue to do that. Here's whose shoulders this falls on. Not mine and not the loved ones and friends of John. So John's been murdered. You found his pickup truck. Most of that makeup of that property down there is 99% Mississippi band of Choctaw Indians. So there's another problem. Okay? You've got a heathen nation of Native Americans that are still pissed off and still have an axe to grind, and so they give them some casinos, and there's more crime and vice and corruption down there, folks, that you can shake a stick at. And of course, what does crime and corruption and all this money, what does it get you? Let me tell you what it gets you. It gets you a puppet. So let's see who the puppets are. Well, the sheriff of Neshoba County, Eric Clark, if he's still the sheriff, and then James Moore, no relation, of Kipper County. And look no further, ladies and gentlemen, than the Commissioner of Mississippi Department of Public Safety, Sean Tindell. And Sean Tindell absolutely lied under oath when he took the oath of office, and Tater Reeves appointed him. And so he would be the one in charge of this MBI investigation. There is no investigation, folks. The friends and family close to this, for some reason, feel like they're just not taking it serious. They're not doing anything about it. The only thing they're doing officially is making sure that William R. Allen of Allen Breland, this attorney, can somehow exploit this situation and help Cindy put these kids up for adoption. Okay, so we've got that officially. Have you seen this person poster with MBI's name on it? But the family and friends are still being drugged because there is, let me tell you, the reason there's not any answers is because there hasn't been an investigation. So whoever Cindy was screwing needed to stay a secret, and they're going to do everything they can to keep it a secret. When we get the names of who she's tricking with and was tricking with, I will promise you there'll be some preachers and police and probably a mayor or two, and God only knows what else, that may have to get a job change. I may be the next person coming up missing. But folks, I'll promise you, I'm not taking my video down. I'm not the fat green-haired boy on TikTok. I'm the one that keeps it real. Going to keep it real. I'm going to hold you accountable. So what? You see Tate Reeves on there talking about a sales tax break for kids going back to school. And I'm sure everybody's just giddy about that, especially because he loves the community-oriented policing program that systematically violates citizens' civil and constitutional rights when they get millions of those dollars funneled into the state of Mississippi for Project Safe Neighborhood. It's the same program that perpetuated, that targeted and tortured a young man and drove him to the Uvalde, Texas massacre. Or maybe we'll talk about Sandy Hook massacre. We could talk about these all day long. Tate Reeves endorses this program, of course. And, of course, then when they manage to get some out-of-state manufacturer in here, he's always smiling with these people, and they're smiling big because these jobs would normally pay $30 and $40 and $50 an hour, and he'd come to Mississippi and let them rape the citizens of the state of Mississippi. They say it's a good paying job. Man, they paying $10 an hour or whatever it is. And they go in there and it's a right to work state, and if your head doesn't move a certain way, they don't care how long you've been there or how much work you did. Workplace harassment, sexual harassment, or whatever it is, and you bring it up, you're fired, and your ass is hanging high and dry, and you won't even be able to draw unemployment. Thank you, Tate Reeves. And then you've pointed this ass clown, Sean Tindall. And you've got these people at FBI. Boy, it sounds good. Big C, FBI is just the next thing, the FBI. Well, folks, that ain't no bragging right there. That is not a bragging right. So how many federal agents have been down there shaking down these Indians and these Choctaw Indians, getting some answers? Because the answers are there. And the answers are there. This is not just a marriage where they were screwing around and all this kind of stuff, and well, he just wandered off and disappeared. He just disappeared somewhere. Well, you sell that hog shit to somebody that's buying hog shit, but we ain't buying it here, okay? I'm not buying it. Stop selling it. The fact that William R. Allen, from Allen and Breland's name is on this adoption thing, tells me every single thing I need to know. So when law enforcement screw up, murder, we've got people up here missing as well, same deal, folks. It's a never-ending deal. They've got their go-to thing, their undertone whispering. Well, there's on that dope. Oh, okay. For some reason, if dope ever comes into play, then anything that happens after that is absolutely acceptable. It's perfectly acceptable. Or just a bad attitude. That's acceptable for murder and sex and drug trafficking and all the other things. Well, why don't the Attorney General, why doesn't General Lynn Fitch, why don't she get involved and demand an investigation and start prosecuting these people? She's too busy using our tax dollars for bodyguards to go out and rough up family members that are complaining of how she's mistreating the elderly, mainly her parents or her dad, whichever one it is. She's still celebrating her marriage of marrying into a deep third, fourth, fifth generation Ku Klux Klan dynasty, and she really hadn't got time to protect the Constitution from foreign and domestic and so forth. In her mind, they've got a copy of the Constitution down there at the Capitol, and they've got it under camera and guard. They're going to protect that in case somebody tries to steal that document. In her mind, that's what she's thinking. That's not what it means, General Fitch. Sean Tindall has no business being the commissioner of anything. Not even the Rotary Club. And we got two sheriffs down there. Who knows what song and dance they're singing, but you can believe it. It's whatever song and dance they're told to sing. But that oath they took, again, folks, you have people that are putting their hand on a Bible and swearing an oath on a Bible they never read, to a God they don't believe in, to protect the Constitution that they think is a piece of garbage. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we'd like to know where Jonathan Paul Estes is. Can his family at least have a funeral? Sean Tindall, Tate Reeves, can his family at least have that? Or are you just going to cover up for some good old boy down there that was screwing around with his fat ass wife, and you couldn't dare let that get out. Can we have that, William Allen? Instead of you just all balls to the wall trying to get these kids adopted, why don't you put some of that money, you put some of that money that you've taken from these insurance companies just to defend the cases I have that you represent. Take some of that money and spend it on a newspaper ad. Or spend it on somebody that's worth their salt to give us some answers and give this family some answers. You can contact the family members at findjohnestes@gmail.com. FINDJONESTES at Gmail. You can contact me. I'd like to say contact the MBI. If you want it to go straight into the shredder or to the ignore department, then call them. Am I telling you not to trust these officials that are running things in law enforcement in the state of Mississippi? Am I suggesting that? Let me be real clear about what I'm suggesting. You damn Skippy. I'm more than suggesting it. I'm telling you that is a fact. Put your trust there, and it's misplaced. Let me tell you what, folks. I still believe in God and country. And the God I serve will not and cannot fail. This family and his children need those that are born again and that believe in that risen Savior to enter the God's throne and to pray that right now that the truth be made known, and that those individuals that have been asleep intentionally at the wheel and that has let this drag on for 4 years, so they got the children up on an auction block just to drive another nail into a coffin that we've yet to see. It's not a missing person. This is a murder investigation. Who had the most to lose? I think it's real clear who had the most to lose. It starts with Cindy Estes and then it trickles on down through there. So obviously somebody that doesn't want their name in there made sure that Jonathan would never utter those names and share that information. Well, Jonathan was not the only one that is and rightfully so, a little put off about that. I think there's a whole bunch of Jonathans out there, and there sure is, in this state and across this country, that demand that our public officials do what they are being paid to do. Sean Tyndall, Tate Reeves, these sheriffs I've just mentioned. Do you know who's paying you? We're paying you. We're the one to write your check. The clock's ticking. Two things need to happen. Some people need to be fired, and the Department of Justice needs to start investigating and dragging some of these despicable, pathetic excuses under the penitentiary. Folks, I encourage you to share and subscribe to my channel. I'm 100% financed by donations of my viewers. We're in the middle of a fundraise, and this is not something I'm trying to piggyback on this horrible situation with Jonathan Estes. Not only that, the fact that their children, not only are they trying to, have they taken these children's dad, they're trying to take the name and any other existence of Jonathan Estes and erase it from the history books. I'm doing this for them. Don't worry about it. We're not going to let that happen, folks. Unless you take a stand, it will happen. It's time you take a stand and make these things happen. My ability to stay on the air and to broadcast and to do what I do takes money. And it's hit them in the pocketbook. Isn't it, William R. Allen? I didn't go to law school. After tens and thousands of dollars that you've already drained from the taxpayer coffers through insurance premiums to make sure that law enforcement can continue to deprive an individual of their civil and constitutional rights. You're an absolute disgrace to the legal profession at the Mississippi bar, and then have your name anywhere around something like this. Why don't you do something good? Do something good for the state of Mississippi. Get a U-Haul truck, get the hell out of it. That's the best thing you can do. Asking you to do the right thing and tell the truth. Oh my God, I wouldn't dare do that. That's living in a rock candy mountain. Get a U-Haul, get the hell out. We need some good people in this state. We need people with backbones, not wishbones. Folks, let me hear from you. If you've got any information, and I know there's some people out there got some information, you just biting your tongue. Let me tell you what. You only have one chance to go through life. Everybody is going to heaven when they die. All of us are going. That's the gospel. Now, there's a whole bunch that's not going to get to stay. And folks, let me tell you, Jesus says, as you sow, so also shall you reap. So put in your reputation and your livelihood or whatever you've got that you feel that it's at stake and you refuse to come forward and give us the facts and the truth. What you're really saying is you have just sold your soul to the devil. That day of accounting is coming. You don't get a do-over. You do not get a do-over. Those that are listening to me, that know they should have done the right thing, it's never too late. But you can rest assured, we're going to keep rattling and rattling and rattling until somebody comes up with the truth, because we want the answers. Let me hear from you. Till next time, God bless you.